Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we are doing 2022's Dashcam.
Hey, fam, we're watching Dashcam. It's got a white lady who can't rhyme like I can. What?
It's not the worst, but it's not the best.
It's really weird. This movie either came out in 2021 or 2022. Literally depends on like what website you go. I don't even remember when I saw this, but it was either in 21 or 22 whenever it first came out. But yeah, like IMDB says 2021. I think Amazon says 2022. So whatever. It came out in one of those years and we're going to review it. And there's also, if anybody was wondering, two dash cams. This is the one with the white chick who can't rap. So,
Yes. If you don't hear "Oh, come in my butt" inside of 5 minutes of this movie, you're watching the wrong dash cam.
It's the wrong one. So before we get into it, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. As always, if you want to join the millions and millions on Patreon, you could follow us on Patreon and join the Patreon crew. It's only $2 to get in. We have a couple of different tiers. $2 gets you all of this, like this review, but it gets you the clips from the movie.
A little bit of that.
All of that. Nobody wants this or that.
Nobody wants any of either of us. They're just like, make us laugh, stupid.
Make us laugh, clown.
Keep your clothes on and make us laugh.
But you basically get the YouTube video, but we add the clips of the movie. There's no clips here. And you also get some pre-show. We do, 15-ish, 20-ish minutes of pre-show stuff where we
vaudeville.
Yeah. We go through, we talk about ranking horror movies or movies in general, or just the hijinks that we're getting up to.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby.
And if you go to our top tier on Patreon, you get exclusive gifts like coffee mugs, stickers, t-shirts, mini prints, all that stuff. So come join us at the party over at Patreon, and let's get into the cast of Dashcam. This is going to be a quick one, folks. This movie stars Annie Hardy as Annie Hardy, Amar Chadha-Patel, hopefully I pronounced that right, as Stretch, and Angela Enahoro as Angela. And there's also a holdover from Host. So one of the I don't know if you noticed this one, the chick who owns the restaurant that Annie goes into to pick up the food, that is I think the medium.
Yep.
From Host.
Silent. The Scottish medium.
Yeah, I don't do that accent. So
I want to do some fish and chips. I don't do it at all.
But yeah, so
somehow I'm like 99.9% DNA, like white English, and somehow I'm still being racist towards English. I don't even know how that's possible.
But this is, a lot of times I'll look at the IMDb description and I'll go, oh, is this really what the movie was about? And this is not. So FYI, pay attention to this review, because the IMDb description says two friends embark on a horror-fueled road trip and live stream the most terrifying night of their lives. That's not at all what happens here.
That's a terrible description of
it's awful.
And I will throw this in there real quick before we get started. Also, Gemma from Host is Stretch's girlfriend, and Caroline is the bride in the car accident later.
Yes, and I believe
you're welcome.
I believe Gemma might have been one of the writers on this too.
So, it's not the actress.
Not
Gemma,
the same.
Gemma Hurley. She wrote Host. With
so she did write
Rob
Host
Savage.
Too.
So yeah, she's part of this gang for sure. She's the co-writer. Which, if we ever had the opportunity to interview Gemma, which would be amazing, Hurley, the writer, not the actress. I'd be a drooling idiot because I am like in love with Gemma. But if we got to interview Gemma Hurley, the writer, I would have to ask her because, you know, I dabble, I type a little, and they say write what you know. So I'm like, when you get scared, do you just yell "come in my butt" like repeatedly?
Shit in my mouth, cover my asshole.
Because that's a weird thing for somebody to yell. Like that was noticeably weird.
So Annie yells
that was weirder than
like,
the demon pooping its pants.
Again, and we'll get to that. She yells a lot of weird shit throughout this movie. But
this chick's out of control. She's fucking out of control.
She's out of control from the beginning. So the movie opens with Annie, and she's starting her live stream band car as she drives around and white lady raps about COVID and right-wing lyrics. And we also see her at her shitty apartment with 1,000 crosses on the wall.
Yeah, here's a hot tip for all of you Republicans out there. If you want to hear like Republican raps, I hear Chingy is performing at some like big RNC event soon. So you're better off going to see those kind of raps than you are probably Annie.
At least,
no offense.
At least they got more bars. Annie ain't got no bars. Annie sounds like me rapping.
Annie just talks about fucking. She sounds like Cardi B.
She spends half this movie trying to figure out what rhymes with orange. But here's the thing. I'll give people a pass, right? We've talked about, you know, churches and religion and all that stuff in previous movies, especially horror movies. It's a topic that comes up. But I'll give people a pass with a cross on their wall, right? But FYI, if you have more than one, I'll even give you two. You have mental problems. And if you have an Annie amount of crosses on the wall, you should be in a psychiatric ward.
You are correct.
Especially when you are demonstrating no form of any kind of Judeo-Christian religion in any aspect of your life other than the crosses on your wall.
She screams shit dick 400 times in this movie.
Yeah. She is, for the most part, she's the actual demon in this movie. Legit.
And we see this. This is demonstrated when she live streams her going to the airport wearing her like chin diaper and her
marked slave.
Marked slave, and then I hate liberals, whatever shirt. And she flies to England. Now, mind you, this is all during COVID. So she flies to England to visit her friend, an apparently former bandmate, Stretch. And she gets there in the middle of the night and wakes him up, and his wife, by the way, by spitting in her hand and smacking him in the face, because that's what they used to do when they were like, I don't know, fucking 18, when they were in a band and touring or whatever the hell.
And before we get into this whole shit show, to quote Alanis Morissette, I'm pretty sure she's uninvited.
She definitely
just shows the fuck up.
Okay, listen. I get it. If you're driving down, you know,
I do not get this. Explain this to me, doctor.
If I'm driving somewhere, it's like a half an hour away, and you live within that 15-minute, like I'm driving there, I'm coming back, and I just want to swing by. First of all, it's either a phone call or a text. Like, hey, I was thinking about swinging by. You home? But even if you pop in, it's annoying, but like, I get it. You flew across an ocean to another country and didn't tell him you were coming, or his wife / girlfriend, whatever she is. And not only it's not like it was 3 p.m. and she knocked on the door like, surprise. Yeah. It's like 3 a.m. and you wake him up. She's lucky she didn't get shot.
Dude, we've covered this so many times on this show, I wasn't even going to say it. Do this at my house. Fucking please. Watch what happens next. live with Andy Cohen. I will fucking murder you. Unbelievable.
You're going to be rapping about ivermectin with a fucking 2 broken arms and 2 broken legs.
Hell yes.
Dude, if somebody broke into my house like this, I would literally pull a Dexter. They would be in my basement, saran wrapped to a fucking cold steel table, and I'd be lecturing them about morality before I stuck a knife in their chest.
100%.
Please break into my house. My God. But this is why here. I don't believe in Friends. Because of movies like this. This is also why I believe in Adderall for people with severe cases of ADHD.
Yes.
Because of movies like this.
100%.
This whole movie is just basically a nationwide cry to get some people Adderall.
Yes, exactly. To say that Annie is unhinged is an understatement here. Like,
yeah.
I'm not defending her or her viewpoints. However, if you're like, I get it. It's during COVID and you're like, and you're on your couch yelling at, CNN or whatever. And you're just like, chin diapers. And I don't believe in them. We're all like, okay, fine. You're doing that from the comfort of your own home. I'm good with that. You're literally going to another country. Because here, Stretch, it's the next day, and he's already pissing Gemma off.
I think it just dawned on me. Holy shit.
What's that?
Like, I think I just had like a legit movie epiphany right now. Annie went over there intentionally to piss off Stretch and Gemma because she's got largely a right-wing following, and her followers were just kind of bored with Bandcar. So yeah. I think she put on this whole fucking slave mask show to go over there and legitimately pick on these two for her crowd. Because it's not like a real visit because she is fucking live streaming the entire time. Getting in arguments, getting in fucking fistfights with Gemma.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Well, and by the way,
oh, go ahead. I
was going to say, she gets into a fist fight with Gemma after she goes with Stretch, because apparently Stretch, got furloughed or lost his job or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he's just doing like Uber Eats or whatever. He's going on deliveries. And Annie, she continues her crazy like anti-COVID mask conspiracy theories and, Fauci's the devil and whatever. And she gets thrown out of this restaurant because she's climbing on tables and she's just doing the, let's call it the socially unacceptable thing that COVID or no COVID, if you act like an asshole, you're going to get treated like an asshole. So she gets thrown out. They get back to Stretch's place and they crack the door this much. And Gemma's in there throwing fucking haymakers, trying to connect on a 3-piece.
Dude, she chucked that MAGA hat in her face and went the fuck off.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi. Liberals, probably. And some Republicans now. More than you think. Uncle Corey here. If you see a MAGA hat, don't react like Gemma does here. It's not a good way to go about it. It's crazy. No. Do what I do and piss on it. When nobody's around and it's just sitting there, just piss all over it and walk away like nothing happened.
Yeah.
They're still gonna wear it. They're in a cult. It's true.
So after this whole thing, she's like, well, obviously I'm not wanted here. So what am I going to do? Should I go get a hotel for my stay? No, I'm going to steal their car. So she steals Stretch's car.
Dude, okay, first off, she's closed a restaurant down because she refused to wear a mask and killed that fucking, dude's business.
Yes.
At least for a couple weeks. Then she steals Stretch's car. Now Stretch can't make any fucking money. And she goes to the next level here, if I may, and actually accepts a fucking, Postmates delivery.
Yes.
And so it's like, I'm not going to get you fired. I'm trustworthy. It's like, dude,
You stole his phone and his car?
You are a terrible fucking person. And I know
Listen.
this because I was married to you for 4 fucking years.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Listen, I don't care if you're like, we're drinking water, turning the frogs gay. Like, I don't care if that's who you are and what you believe.
They are?
I don't care. I literally don't give a shit. Do you, right? Just don't do that around me and we're good to go. You steal my car, my phone, you're dead. Like, what are we talking about here?
Oh, like, yeah, it's like Attitude Era WWE Dudley Boys time. I'm putting you through some fucking tables.
And by the way, just a quick don't do that here, guys.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, everybody. Traveling abroad? Traveling to another state. Some states have different rules. Some countries have different rules. If you go to somebody else's house and they have different rules, follow the fucking rules. If you go to somebody else's country, follow the goddamn rules, okay?
It's typically a good practice.
Don't do what she does here and getting thrown out of the restaurant, stealing cars. Half the shit she does in this movie is a felony. Like, she's just racking them up as she goes along. But Annie here then gets to the restaurant because she's got to pick up the Postmates order. So she goes to pick up this food for a delivery. The place is empty. The owner then comes out to say that they're closed. She then tells Annie that she'll pay her extra money to take her sick-looking friend Angela to an address that she gives her. And this is Salem that gives her the address.
Which is hilarious, too, because she's just like, no, it's okay, love. Just take her. It's like, bitch, I deliver food. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Like, and by the way, we're in the middle of COVID. This bitch looks like she is dying of COVID and needs a respirator.
Yeah,
immediately.
She's testing how secure Annie is in her beliefs. Because she's like, COVID isn't real. I'm a fucking slave to the government right now. Ooh,
I'll tell you this.
Looks like she's about to die of COVID. I ain't going near her.
I'll tell you this. This is how committed Annie is to her beliefs, because she immediately is like, this ain't got nothing to do with COVID. I don't know what that chick's got, but she got something. I don't want it. And she goes, I'll give you a little bit extra money. She takes out a stack of cash like this out of an envelope and just hands it to her. And Annie's like, I mean, she doesn't look that sick. So I'm going to throw her in the back of my buddy's car. And after Angela...
Money wins. Money will always win.
After Angela takes a hefty shit and stretches back seat, Annie pulls over to take her to a restroom to clean her up. And as much as we've been ripping on Annie this whole time, bless this woman, she's in the bathroom trying to clean her up and do the thing. Listen, I'm opening the door and just, I'm kicking this bitch out of the fucking car, okay? She literally took a hot steaming shit in your backseat, not your buddy's backseat, okay? This is like, that's at least a $200 like fine. Like, you stole my car, there's a fine, and you let a sick stranger take a shit in my back seats. That's a 1-star review.
You were correct.
What I think is amazing is she's like cleaning up this soupy corn diarrhea with like handy wipes that you get in the back of an Uber. It's like, what the fuck, lady? That needs a car wash, power wash, dude, fucking M16 version of a spray gun.
Listen, let's be honest. I'm lighting the car on fire and walking.
Hell yes.
While she's cleaning Angela up, she gets attacked by some strange lady looking for Angela. She gets away, and Stretch finds Annie in the parking lot.
And this is where I'm like, okay, Annie, maybe you're just kind of pretending a little bit, because a black woman shows up out of nowhere and starts shooting a gun out at her, and Annie never says the N-word. I don't think you're really MAGA, lady. They're waiting for this chance. They're waiting for the. Why don't we get to say it? Why can't I say it? Fucking say it and see what happens.
Well, she finds out here really quickly, but Stretch gets in the car here with Annie because Annie gets away. Stretch gets in the car with Annie and Angela, and after Stretch pulls over, he's yelling at Annie outside of the car. Angela's mask gets soaked with blood, and then she just disappears. And then we get Stretch cleaning the shit in his back seat. The door closes, and he sees Angela just running into the woods. Annie's nowhere to be found. And Stretch finally sees Angela 20 feet up in a goddamn tree. And
just like Nancy Pelosi on January 6th, you can't find Annie anywhere.
But Stretch, after taking a beat, okay, and this couldn't be more accurate, right? Because she's live streaming, so you have the people like commenting at like the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, Stretch is a pussy. What a piece of shit. He's just going to leave this bitch up in a tree. I'd be like, she looks 100 years old. She's 20 feet up in a tree, okay? Stretch is what? Let's call him in his late 20s, early 30s max. He's going to break his back, which he ends up doing because he's like, maybe I should go help. He climbs a tree, he falls out, and then Angela, the Wicked Witch of the East, just floats down from the goddamn tree.
Yeah, and I'm going to fire this one out for everybody.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. I don't care if you're fucking 20-year-old peak shape Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you see 100-year-old bitch just hanging out on a fucking tree branch standing there, like nothing, like she's a fucking statue, run! Yes. You don't climb the fucking tree to help her. That bitch, hot tip, is fucking possessed. Period. Or, as we've discussed earlier, she just really needs Adderall.
I was going to say, or she took a fistful of Adderall and she ran up the tree.
She didn't need Adderall and just went fucking ham.
Exactly. So, Annie finally shows up here, right? And she and Stretch get shot at by the woman that attacked Annie earlier. They run away into this old abandoned camper. The Stretch steps on a hypodermic needle here.
This is the must have been fucking East Baltimore. This is the other thing that makes me think Annie's not really MAGA, because there's a black woman with the shotgun chasing her, and she's been driving around this other old black lady all night. She would naturally assume, if she's really MAGA, that these two know each other, if aren't related. She'd be like, "Oh, this must be your Meemaw. Here you go. Bye."
The one thing that I do like about this scene, because Stretch steps on the hypodermic needle, which, by the way, when he falls out of the tree, he just loses a shoe. He's just like, "Where's my shoes?" Like, he just loses a random shoe. I'm sure the change fell out of his body. He looked like Sonic the Hedgehog when he loses all his rings. Just shit's flying off of him. They get into this camper. He steps on a hypodermic needle, right? And the coast is finally clear. And like Stretch and Annie go back to the car. And he's sitting on the ground. He's checking out his foot, and it's like bleeding, because some guy's heroin needle was like in his foot. And it was literally, I laughed out loud at this. And she goes, "I can fix it." And she puts her hand on it and she goes, "I got the AIDS." And then she goes, "AIDS." And then puts it in his face. I was like, that tracks. For the spit in the hand and the slap in the face, this whole thing tracks for Annie. And this is why I think your theory is correct. It's all performative. Yeah. Like, no matter how serious shit gets, and that's why I'm like, she needs to be in a psychiatric ward. Either that, or she's like Andy Kaufman. it's like one or the other, because which Andy Kaufman might be in a psychiatric ward. Everything is performative and is part of the bit, no matter how scary and shitty things get.
Well, FYI, hot knees. I'd take a look in the mirror while you're giving this speech, because I was literally like, dude, fuck this bitch. And then I was like, oh no, Armando would totally be doing this. That's something you would totally be doing in the middle of like nuclear fucking war. You'd be like, ooh, AIDS.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
probably.
Yeah. You're one Scott Tinnerman incident away from being Eric Cartman. That's all I'm saying.
Is it possible this story is true?
When they get back to the car here, right? It's her and Stretch. They see Angela standing in the road. Annie goes out to get her. They get her back into the car. And this is literally, like, up until now, everything's not all good. It's still fucked up. But from here on out, all hell breaks loose. Annie takes Angela's mask off. She sees that Angela's mouth is like sewn shut. Angela rips the stitches or staples or whatever it is out of her mouth and starts coughing up blood everywhere as Stretch is driving. Stretch swerves, gets into a head-on collision, and a dude just flies through their windshield. There's like an explosion. There's so much going on in this scene.
And because he's white, Annie grabs his hand and talks him into death. She's like, it's going to be okay. You're good.
She's like, it's all right because you're all white.
We're going to miss your vote, but it's all good.
Hell yes.
So they get out. And after they take a second to relax, smoke a cigarette, Annie's like doing some more bad rapping with him. She gets attacked by Angela. It's a chunk like taken out of her neck or whatever. And they run away. And Stretch gets hit by a car that's driven by someone looking for Angela, who happens to be the chick that has already attacked them and shot at them. And like this movie, it's just like, and then everybody disappears. And then like 5 seconds later, it's the same goddamn people. I'd be like, dude, don't you guys have, I know it's COVID. Don't you guys have jobs? Everybody's furloughed. They got nothing but fucking time on their hands.
Nope. Nothing but time. We're just driving around running into other people. Because headlights don't work in England? I don't know. They're taking away headlights.
But Annie steals this chick's car. She crashes it. And as the chick's like reaching into the car, Annie breaks the chick's arm in the steering wheel. And she goes back into her crazy person bit again.
Oh, dude.
Like she's like doing the interview with her. And she's like,
Annie's the worst type of person.
How do you know, Angela?
Fake news. You're chasing us because of fake news.
Dude, this whole thing. My favorite part, though, is when Annie's using her like microphone and asking her questions because, you know, her arm's caught in the fucking car. Annie takes the sound effect off when she's asking questions and then turns the sound effect back on. So when the lady says shit, it's like echoey.
I'm not a math whiz, but this seems highly improbable, ma'am.
I'll say this. That's a funny bit. In like all this tragedy and whatever.
Like I said, you're fucking Cartman.
Annie is so annoying throughout this movie. And then she's got little bits where I'm like, well, I mean, I know like shit's fucked up, but that was funny.
Annie's that type of person where she is scared to death. She's crying. She's running. She hasn't tried to face any problem head on except for the car swerve hits.
Yeah.
The second she gets like an inch of an upper hand,
she
goes back to being like, oh, look at me. I'm so tough and cool. Let's do a fake interview. It's like, dude, if she ripped her arm off and like took 2 steps towards you, you would shit your pants running away.
100%.
Those are the fake ass motherfuckers I hate. And this is why they wrote her so well.
Oh, this character was written incredibly well.
And I'll give them this, and I don't know if this was necessarily Gemma's point in writing her like this or not, but there's a certain point in the movie where once she's stopped and kind of by herself, and she's walking around hunting for like the keys coming up here in the next couple minutes, or going through all the cars.
Yeah,
all the MAGA shit, all of that has disappeared, and now she's just a lady in a horror movie. That's what you know what I mean? So I don't know if that was intentional and that's what they were going for, was like, when it kind of gets real, who fucking cares? Demons are chasing you.
Yes.
But also, fuck Annie.
Well, my favorite part comes up here because after this scene, because I believe Angela comes in here, rips the one chick's head off. Stretch and Annie go running away, and they wander into this like local abandoned amusement park that's just randomly there, and they get separated, and Stretch finds Annie in the teacups, in the little teacup ride, and she's passed out. There's, blood everywhere, and he does the spit in the hand slap to wake her up because she won't wake up,
and she does not like that.
Annie gets so pissed. She gets so angry, and I was like, "That tracks too. You could spit it out, but you can't take it."
Pretty much.
But they argue here, and they get chased through like the Hall of Mirrors by Angela. Stretch gets murked. He gets
Stretch turning and walking into the mirror was legitimately one of the funnier. Like, I think it's this way. Crack. That was funny as fuck. I would have totally had the same reaction Annie had. Like, I know 100%. We're about to die here, but also I'm gonna pee my pants because I'm laughing so hard.
Come and follow me. It's this way.
Annie gets away after Stretch gets murked. She steals a car. She drives away, and we see Angela running like the goddamn Terminator behind the car.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yep. She catches up, and Annie crashes the car. When Angela attacks her, Annie ties her up in the seatbelt, but Angela uses her like fucking Marvel comic powers to crash the car into like the river. And Annie finally like makes it out of the car, and she makes it to land.
That was super tense too. Like all the water. I like how there was the way they kept that going through the phone, and the water pouring in and not knowing which way was up. Dude, that was really well shot.
It was well shot. I dug this whole scene, like from just a visual standpoint. I saw Annie's apartment. Bitch, you poor. That Boost mobile phone ain't making it out of the river, and it's sure as shit ain't still live streaming. Okay, let's put all this aside. Okay,
you have an easier time believing that her track phone couldn't live stream, but the demon is chasing her and making her car go in the river. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I've sold drugs too, dude. The track phones ain't shit.
Dude, I'm just saying. There was a little droplet of rain that hit my fucking iPhone that apparently is water resistant, and the shit just went haywire. I'm pretty sure her freaking Cricket Mobile it's fucked. So
you could get a good case and a good screen cover, because typically I masturbate standing up and I have to hold my phone, and I don't get one of those widgets that like goes between your fingers, so it slips out all the time because I'm a passionate lover.
Yes, you are, especially with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But so Annie here, she makes it to land. She finds this house off in the distance. She finds an open door. She goes into the house, and she realizes very quickly that the address of this house is the one that Salem gave her originally to take Angela to.
Whoops.
She sees a bunch of people in a trance. They all slit their throats. Angela here pops out of fucking nowhere again, attacks her. Annie manages to get away after like slicing Angela's face open. This is where we see like an alien or a demon or something crawl out of Angela's face. And Annie finds herself in a hallway. She opens the door at the end of the hallway, gets chased into like this underground car park by like this parasite demon that came out of Angela's mouth. She traps it under a car.
What does she call it? A sperm something? Sperm monster or sperm demon or something?
I don't. Okay, this is where Annie's cursing gets like, she was making up shit, and I was like, I've never heard of that one before. I'm pretty sure she calls it a shit dick, or she just says shit dick. There's a lot of stuff.
She does say she says shit on my dick.
Shit on my dick.
Shit on my dick, come in my butt.
Shit in my mouth, cover my asshole. Fuck you, you fucking semen demon.
Not for nothing, but if I'm getting chased by this demon, I'm literally, there's just curse words spilling out of my face. And I probably sound like Annie in this situation.
I don't have enough breath to talk. I'm so like, I can't even run. It's not like I'm out of breath because I'm Carl Lewis. Like, I'm in a corner, just like hyperventilating, and I'm shitting on myself constantly. Like, I deserve to die in this. It's because Gina got a hold of you and made you weak.
That's true.
Annie's strong. She could get through this.
She's strong because she's got her Casio keyboard, and she smashes the shit out of the demon or whatever this thing is with her Casio. And the movie ends with her in a car, and her live feed comes back up. People are posting messages. Annie's like covered in blood and jit and whatever, and does another awful rap, and the movie just ends.
Annie, are you okay? I'm killing him like OJ.
When she's doing her little rap at the end, and I don't know if this is like copyright or whatever, but like everybody's writing like, Annie, are you okay? And she's like, are you okay? Like OJ. And I was like, oh, dude, you missed it. There's a perfect Michael Jackson reference in there. I'm like, how do you not sing that? And I'm like, there's probably like copyright.
He's black. I don't like black music. Turned white. Terrible what they say he did. Terrible things.
Dude, when I first saw this movie, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I still love it. I find new things to laugh at, new things to like annoy me. If you could do that with a movie, just take my money. It's fine. Like,
oh, yeah, like, look, I said it before, I think, for the Patreoners. Annie's probably the character I hate most in all of Film, but at the same time, she's covered in shit and blood and sperm monster stuff, and she's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, maybe. Probably. I would, definitely. So, you know, it is what it is. No, I'm actively rooting for Angela through most of this movie. And not to like, oh, I hope she gets home. Like, I hope she fucking murders everybody.
Yes.
I didn't want Annie to win. And the reason I didn't want Annie to win is exactly what happens at the end. She just goes right back to being Annie. And it's just like, fuck you.
I want to know what this Benjamin Button bullshit is all about, because the lady says that she's 16. She's 16. Here's a picture. And Annie's got to make a joke. And she's like, no, that's definitely her. I saw that fucking Ariana Grande tattoo on her stomach.
Socialized medicine is what does that.
Exactly. Well, you know, she got the jab, and Angela went fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I love this fucking movie. I'm glad we decided to do it for October.
Mm-hmm.
This from front to back, and when shit hits the fan, I think we said it earlier, but when shit hits the fan here, it goes goddamn bananas. Like, there's so much going on in every single jump scare scene. Anytime, like, shit, like, Angela comes out of nowhere, this other chick with the gun comes out of nowhere, like, 8,000 things are going on.
It's
so,
wild.
Like, watching it this time, just putting notes together for this fucking movie, I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start. But I'm like, this happened, then this happened.
What I think is smart about this kind of filmmaking, not only are you doing it with a smaller budget, which makes it more obviously attractive to the bigwigs in Hollywood. They only want money. But no, so because you're doing this on a smaller budget, yeah, it's awesome. But adding the chat, the live chat on the side of the screen, almost forces you to go back and watch this multiple times because you aren't able to pick up what's going on in the chat. You aren't able to pick up what's going on screen. You have to mix and match, and it's fucking difficult. I've seen this twice, and everything that's happening on screen is so entertaining and captivating, and like I'm in it. I'm paying zero attention to the chat, and then like every now and again, I'm like, oh yeah, that thing's happening. So you have to you really have to go back and watch this over and over, which makes it a very creative way to have repeat viewership.
Oh, absolutely. No, I
tried, part of the deal, repeat customers. You want them coming back.
I tried to pay more attention this time to the chat. There's a lot of funny shit in the chat while this is going on. Like I was looking back and forth. But we did brain damage last week. Do you remember what the budget was for brain damage?
900,000.
I'll give you one guess for what this budget was.
Shit, 30 grand.
100 grand estimated budget on IMDb.
Wow.
And we got this. Okay, so anybody in the comments on brain damage, like, this is great, dude. 100 grand got you Dashcam.
Yeah,
just throwing it out there.
Grow up, nerds.
Hell yes.
This is proof positive, and this is one of the reasons because you can make it on your own. This is a fucking fantastic movie. It didn't take 30 million, 50 million, $100 million to make. You got a fantastic movie on $100,000 we'll say estimated budget, right?
Yep.
It's fantastic. This is one of those movies when we were talking in the pre-show about near perfect. For me, as far as horror goes, this is a near perfect movie.
Yeah, it really is. There's no protagonist I necessarily care about, but also, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't care about anybody.
I don't have to root for anybody.
But,
I can just watch a good football game. And that's kind of what I'm watching here. It's just, it's a good, scary movie. I don't have to be invested to be scared or, to be like, run, bitch. Like, I don't have to like you to, want you to run.
No, you just got to make me feel something. And I do feel something for every character in this movie.
Yeah. Usually anger for you. For me, I actually felt genuine emotion. Like Whitney Houston. But.
Well, we'll end it on my anger. So that's all I got. You got anything else?
Dude, calm down. It's okay. Jesus Christ.
For Corey.
Get out of here so you can go beat your wife.
I tried to hit you. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews. And this was 2021-2022's Dashcam.
You can't block my tiger style.